Hey guys, thanks for tuning in for another edition of the Detour Live. It's the second and final rest day of the Giro, and no rest day for old Iffy and Vaz. They've been out on the ground. Oh, it's a third rest day. That's right, I forgot. Jeez, it's been a long race. How many stages have we done? What stage have we got to go? 16,
We're on stage 16 tomorrow. Or today for you guys. Today.
You're having fun getting up at 5:30.
It does.
It's awesome.
Well, they whacked. There's normally 2 rest days on a Grand Tour, but whenever they have those big international away starts, they have to whack an extra rest day in to get everyone from A to B. So that's what happened.
Well, you lived the life of those old Mars ads, work, rest, and definitely play. And, you're sending through more photos, eating decadent dinners, and, you're up there with Dazzy's getting amongst it. You've at least from the food side, geez, you've been looked after, and that's always the highlight of the Giro.
Yeah, the food's been great. And we went on a very interesting little pedal on the rest day. We decided there was a lake about 20k away. Yeah, this is the road. The track little van in front of us, he couldn't get around the corner. That's how tight it was. He had to do a 3-point turn.
It's hilarious when you see the team buses when they have to take a route that's really tight.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Gary get through some centimetre space gaps.
I know.
Just
he wouldn't get up here.
No.
I tell you.
No.
This was but this is just on the edge of Bergamo, one of Italy's big city, glorious city. And we look like we're in the deepest bush forest. Oh, it's around the lake. That's me going for it. Putting the pressure on there. Yeah. Speed of light.
But the whole objective on the rest day was to give people an insight into the inner workings of a cycling team. So you've been out and about. You've got heaps of grabs. We've got a 10-minute package here where you've interviewed a few of the key people behind the scenes at BikeExchange Jayco. So let's rip straight into it, Iffy, and showcase all your interviews from earlier today.
So, Damien Howson, the final rest day for a big week coming up. You're just back from a little pedal. How far did you go?
This is my pedal today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've chosen to stick to the ergo. Rest up the body. There's obviously certain areas that you need to kind of keep ticking along, get the heart rate up a little bit, get a bit of a sweat on, and ready for the racing coming up. So for me, I like to do as little as possible, but I still have to do something. Whereas, a lot of the guys are out on the road doing an hour and a half today. And there's also a few guys that are still in bed at the moment and are having a day off completely. So, it's pretty individual. But for me, I'll just spin out the legs for 20, 30 minutes. And, that's about it, really.
Now, we're just talking about what a monster day it was yesterday, considering, the Torino stage was just so, full on, and then a big mountain day yesterday, and then you had to ride 24k down to the bus, jump on a bus, and you arrived back here after 3.5 hours for dinner at about 10 o'clock. That's pretty tough.
Yeah, I guess the spectators only see the race and they don't see what happens behind the scenes. And as you can see around here, it's a rest day for us riders. Essentially, we get a day to do whatever we please, but the staff are still working really hard on the equipment and getting everything ready for the up-and-coming stages. So it's not a rest day for everyone. But yesterday, for example, the transfer and even riding back to the bus was 23k. So as much as the stage, I don't know how long the stage was. It might have been 5 hours, but turns out to be with Nutritional and riding back to the bus almost a 6-hour day. And as you said, 3.5 hours in the bus afterwards, get to dinner. Beautiful, a lot of pizzas. Arrived at 9:30 last night, and then get a long night's sleep, a bit of sleep in this morning, and then crack on with today and rest as much as we can and enjoy ourselves. Well, enjoying is pretty much sleep.
So with me I have Kabir, one of the head Swannies with Team BikeExchange Jayco. But a lot of people don't understand the role of a soigneur. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, we have everybody have different jobs to do. We are in total 5 soigneurs, so we split the groups in 3 parts. two guys thinking to the food for the riders and the staff, and two guys, like you can see, prepare the bidons each day for the stages, and the last one is make the cleaning the car and prepare the cars for the race.
And also massage. Some of you are
exactly.
masseur as well.
After the stages, or like today in the rest day, in the afternoon we do massage, and that's it.
That's it. It sounds nothing, but you guys, your day starts very early and finishes very late.
Yes, in the morning we prepare food and bidons before the stages. Then me and my teammate, we go in the next hotel. We bring all the stuff of the whole team, and we start to prepare something for the day after. And when they arrive in hotel, we give the key of the rooms, and we start to do massage. And
Big day.
big day, yeah, long day.
Thanks, Giro. Enjoy it, mate.
Ciao.
We now have Laura Martinelli, who is a nutritionalist with the BikeExchange Jayco. Tell me about that role, please, Dale.
Here in the BikeExchange Jayco team, we are pretty lucky because the nutrition department is made up of 5 chefs, and so my role is much easier compared to other teams because essentially race by race I need to plan and set the menu for the riders, and then the chef on the spot will put my theory into practice, let's say that. So besides this role on preparing the menus, I order essentially the ingredients for the menus themselves, and in case we don't have the chef at the race, I get in contact with the hotel to manage and to plan the menu of the riders.
So that sounds very in-depth. So you have are watching each rider's individual intake.
Well, yes, there are some, I would say, general guidelines and some nutrition protocols, but then the individual follow-up is defined, I would say, month by month according to the individual rider needs, I would say. So, generally speaking, we set at the beginning of the season some baseline levels thanks to the protocols and to the guidelines, and then I work individually with the rider according to their specific needs throughout the season.
So on a grand tour, it's very demanding. Does it change a little your role as the race goes on?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I'm much more involved. I try to be present as here now in Giro, and I make some calculations of the food portions day by day after each stage, rider per rider. I mean, I calculate dinner portions and breakfast portions, merging riders' feedback and race data.
Sensational. Thank you very much. That was very informative.
Thank you very much.
So we have the race doctor, Matteo, who has some very, very serious jobs to do on this Giro d'Italia. First one is to fix my nose.
Yeah, yeah, because the people normally arrive to the young person, and as John is a very young one, so that's why we take care of his pimple like this. Also, a little bit on the brain, maybe.
Very good, very good. He's a comedian as well. Now for the serious part. Put this back on. So, Doc, your role on a Grand Tour, there is a lot to be done over the 3 weeks.
Yeah, actually, I reckon that the good doctor is the one that work less. I mean, prevent. Okay, with against the crash, you can do anything. You need to work to fix the boys, and that's it. But if you work in prevention of everything, then you will have less work because the boys will be okay. They won't complain about big issue. If you work before the start of the tour on, for example, any gastrointestinal issue that can occur. If you work before as a prevent on respiratory issue that could happen, then during the stage, during the big tour, normally you can skip, you can have less problem. So my work is particularly on prevention. Okay.
So one thing that has changed in the last couple of years is COVID. That has changed your role quite a bit, giving you a lot more to do.
Yeah, in terms of be rude sometimes to trying to keep the bubble safe. Yeah, that's one of my that's a side of my work that I never experienced it before. So for sure that we never we have the first, I think we have famous because we have the first case of COVID with a big rider, Yatesy, and the second name was me in a big tour, and for sure we as all the world for all the doctor was a sort of a new experience. Also for me was new to manage the problem. Now also because of the experience we already have in the past, we are quite confident. We can manage easy without less stress the COVID problem. For sure. Also, I hope we are on the end of this bad period.
Oh, some fantastic insights there, Iffy, pre-start. And, there's obviously, as the riders said and Housen at the start, it's a bit of a rest day for the riders. They're mainly trying to get some sleep, but not for the staff.
It's a tough gig. I can remember, it's interesting, talked with Damo before, how he likes to have a bit of a rest. I remember the Giro that I rode, that I was a bit unfit. So when we got to the first rest day, which was after about 8 days of racing, 7 or 8 days, I was so knackered, I just said, I'm not getting out of bed. And the DS was not happy with me anyway. I said, no, I made them give me breakfast in bed and lunch in bed, and I got up and had dinner with them. But it was that's what I needed. I had a full day's rest, and I started improving from there on. So it got me through. But everyone's different.
Well, they always talk.
Right.
Yeah, they always talk about some riders that in the old days just wouldn't touch the pedals on the rest day, and then they come out the day after and they're blocked up, and they get spat in the first climb, whereas a lot of them get paranoid about that.
Yeah.
I think it was Contador that was really big on putting in some Ks on the rest day, so he could go out and remember the old days. He'd go out and smash them the day after the rest day. So interesting. All right, we're going to take a quick drinks break. When we come back, if he catches up with the physio and mechanic, stay tuned.
Look at this bike. You think it's just a bike, right? But it's not. It's a bike 374 people are looking at. This guy, this girl, them, all looking at it. People from here, there, and wherever this is. People that are looking for a bike. Or just a piece of it. Amateurs, semi-amateurs, and pro-amateurs. This guy wants this bike, but with this crank and these bars. This could be the perfect match. But not this one. This girl has a bike to sell, and thousands of people might purchase it. Eyes on Bikes help grow small businesses. His, hers, yours, and the latest data and insights help those businesses keep moving. We are the world's #1 bike marketplace, with over 500,000 products and 900 brands, where buyers and sellers are brought together in a place where a bike is never just a bike. BikeExchange, where the world buys, sells, learns, and rides.
every moment. The all-new Lexus NX.
Thanks again to Bike Exchange and, of course, Lexus of Blackburn.
Hey, there it is. The NX 300 with a couple of stars popping out the top. It's amazing. Ruby Roseman Gannon, who is she's got a big race starting tomorrow, I think, and the team are setting her up as the GC star. So she's starting to come into really good form. So we'll watch her. She, of course, is racing with BikeExchange Jayco, and Blake Quick, who has become, shown he's a world-class sprinter. It'll be interesting to see where he goes from here.
And, of course, support the companies that support cycling. There's none bigger for support in cycling, particularly in Australia. Jayco. They've just released the 2022 range, Iffy. So get on jayco.com.au for all your outdoor needs.
And the Jayco caravan range has been designed to withstand Australian conditions. And with the introduction of new world-class technology, I'm just reading this, and safety features, all the comfort and luxury of our next generation caravans. See how I say our? I feel like I'm part of the family. Yeah,
that's right. Dave Arnott, sail boy. Dan looks more tired than Iffy. I had a really good sleep last night, and when you wake up with those sort of puffy eyes, there's not much I could do about that. Tried to have a hot shower, but it didn't work. Sally, thanks Iffy. I missed the backstage past days. Well, there's still plenty of content coming out of the Bike Exchange Jayco team, and get on their Twitter and Facebook socials. Now, Iffy, you also caught up with the physio this morning. He's had his work cut out for him.
Dan, he's an interesting man. He used to be with Sky, so he's very experienced. Lives in Guernsey.
Guernsey.
So you got Guernsey, you got Jersey and Guernsey, the two islands, just off, very close to France, but they're sort of more British, and great rivalry between. He was telling me about the rivalry between Jersey and Guernsey. They don't like each other very much at all. But it's a real challenge. It was funny. It was like listening to someone from North and South Island or from different parts of Glasgow. It was interesting. But he is, one of the known as one of the best in the business. And let's have a listen to him. So we've got Dan Guillemette, who is the physio. He's had a bit of work on this week. How's it all going, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks. Obviously today will always be the busiest day of the week because it's the rest day, so the boys get plenty of time to sort of reset. We can pick up on any niggles that a couple of the guys have had. Fatigue setting in now, second week, end of the second week, and certainly this last week's been really, really demanding. So the last couple of stages have been super, super hard. Plus, we've got a couple of injuries amongst the group. We had 3 little crashes yesterday. So it'll be interesting to see how those guys pull up this morning, and then obviously with Simon, it's been plenty of work there to keep him going, but obviously on the right track. And it was great to see him win that super hard stage the other day in Turin.
Sensational, and I saw him do a bit of a Superman double flip yesterday to the grass.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I'm about to catch up with him now, so we'll see how he's pulled up. But I think he'll have a few little bruises and bumps, but hopefully nothing that will affect him or will have aggravated anything that we've seen so far this Giro.
So people don't realise some of the challenges, but yesterday's stage, a monster, 3 big climbs after one of the toughest days I've seen on the Giro. And then you guys, the riders had to ride 24k down the hill to the bus, and then a 3.5 hour drive to this accommodation. And I think they sat down for dinner after 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that's right. It's always the same in the Giro. There's always a really big transfer at some point. Luckily today's a rest day, so the boys don't have to get up at Sparrow's dark o'clock. I was going to say something else then, but dark o'clock. So obviously we've got an early start tomorrow, so it's all about optimising recovery as soon as we can get our hands on them. So for instance, yesterday I travelled back on the bus, whereas normally I'd probably come back in the car. So assess the injuries, got the ice on, used the back of the bus, turned into a little kind of physio boot room recovery suite. So we were using some of our systems we use, like the sort of compression boots and some ice compression, and getting the guys kind of rotating through that, and just generating a nice atmosphere, and the boys kind of squawking away and chatting and having a laugh, and already starting to reset there. Because at the end of the day, the biggest thing we need to recover is the mental side. Because it's a really, really stressful race, and they spend 6 hours after such a hard day the day before, probably finding themselves in little dark holes, a couple of them I should think, in a gruppetto. So it's about just kind of trying to reset everything together and optimizing, like I say, the recovery element, and making sure that when they do come back here, they're already relaxed and ready to get a good night's sleep, because ultimately that's the biggest thing that we can try and stimulate, really.
Great insights there from Dan. His accent just feels Team Sky. That very calm, intellectual, British accent. It's like, oh, he knows what he's doing. Doesn't really have to say much.
He's an amazing guy. We were chatting over dinner tonight, talking about his grandfather, who, because the Germans went into Guernsey, so his grandfather worked in the underground against the Germans right through the Second World War. And only recently have they found all his diaries, and he's become a superhero in Guernsey just in recent time. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Good story.
Now, one of the hardest working members on any cycling team is the mechanics. Now, you caught up with Fausto, who's a legend in the team. He's been there since their inception. And Fausto was actually the guy that back in 2015 put the GoPro on his chest and caught the footage of the crash. And then the footage went bloody viral. Yeah. And I remember going into that Tour de France, and there was the boss of GoPro. They just done a deal with Vallon. And he gets up and addresses all the teams, and he goes, "Hey guys, we've got this new camera, and what would be amazing is if we could get like the perspective of a mechanic. If there's a bike change." I'm thinking, mate, we'll get that. Don't worry, Fausto, he's dialed with this stuff. He's used to cameras. So then we dialed Fausto up with like how to turn it on. And I said, "Look, mate, I know this is like Tour de France, it's a pain in the ass, but as soon as you hear over the radio like shoot, like which means crash, can you just flick record? I know you're thinking about your job, but if you can do that, this footage is going to change the game, mate." So then when there was the crash, it felt a bit wrong, but first thing I said to him, "Mate, did you record that?" He goes, "Yeah, I got all of it." And then I just remember my heart rate going through the roof thinking, shit, this is going to be unlike anything anyone has ever seen before. So then we watched the footage on the laptop, and I remember thinking, wow. And the guys from GoPro were looking for the cameras, and I remember having it over my neck. I said, "Nah, they've gone to the hotel, mate. They've already gone. We don't have the footage." I thought, bugger it, we're going to post on our socials. They haven't told us we have to give the footage to GoPro. We'll get all the hits for our channel. So then we clipped it up, posted it. It went viral. We got 2.5 million views in 4 hours. And GoPro cracked it because they were meant to. That was the whole point of them doing the sponsorship. And I said, I just played dumb afterwards. I said, I didn't know the process, Sorry about that. But anyway, Fausto was the guy, and Iffy caught up with him on the rest day as well.
Long-time mechanic with Green Edge,
Yes.
now BikeExchange Jayco. How many years you been with the team?
Yeah, from the beginning, so 10 years ago.
10 years.
Long time ago.
Yeah. So just take us a little bit through your role as chief mechanic, what you have to do each day, and especially on a rest day.
So the rest day, we call rest day, but it's not a rest day because we take care more on the bike on the other day, because on the other day we arrive every day late in the evening. So we're gonna look the race bike, we're gonna check the spare bike, but we don't have a lot of time to do that. So on the race day, we take care we try to control all bike, we're gonna clean all bike, and then we're gonna check also the tubular and all we have to do.
Yeah. Busy, your phone's going?
Yeah, Vittorio.
He's coming back.
Yes.
Now, people ask me, do they change the tyres every day, or do you just check for cuts each day and then change on the rest day?
No, we don't change every day, but we're gonna look every day. So if we see we have a cut or we have something we think is not correct, we're gonna change, because we prefer change when we have a time than in the race. We hope the riders is happy with what we give to the rider.
So it changes around. So sometimes you have to be mechanic in the car in the race, and then you swap it around so that others go to the stage finish.
Yeah, normally on the big tour we have we decide we stay always one on the first car, and the other mechanics it turn around on the second car. So maybe every 5 days you're gonna change and so on. We shop, we go to. Normally we have always one. You go with the truck at the hotel, and the other is swaps, and they go on the feed zone or to the bottle point. So no one is quiet on the race. So everyone have his job.
And the bottle points are very important. Vazzy and I even have to do that every day.
Yeah,
It's
you
good.
know, so like that. It's also important because we have a stage. Don't have a possibility the rider he come to the car to take the bidons. So we have a big opportunity when we give from the road on site.
Like you look at the Torino stage.
Yes.
There was very little chance to go back to the car. It was all about the bottle points.
It's not possible because if you come to the car in that moment we have one attack, so you are lost. So we need to pay attention. Also in that small thing we need to be really we need to have big attention also like this.
So what do you think of the giant bikes?
So the rider is really happy. It's really happy because you have more confidence on that bike. The bike is light, and so at the moment the mechanics are really happy with that bike.
And also the Shimano gear, it's very popular.
Yeah, so this year we start with the 12 speed, and the riders is happy, and also us is happy because it's at the moment we don't have problem with the group set. So if it's okay for us, it's perfect.
Okay, thank you very much, Oscar.
You're welcome.
Yeah, there's a fair bit of bike content there. The diehards would love that. But some great insights there.
Well, I should have actually walked into the back of the truck to give people a look at that. I was never got around to that. But anyway, next time.
No, it's great insights overall. So let's have a look. Next time we catch up, it'll be after stage 16. It's going to be a big stage. Obviously, this is it. This is the last week. Aussie Jai Hindley, he can win this. He can definitely win this. So what do you think is going to happen on stage 16, Iffy?
Yes, the GC boys will come out to play on that last climb because it's a real climb, then a descent down to the finish. Vazzy and I are halfway up that. We're doing the last bottle feed, halfway up that. So we'll be there, ducking and weaving. Look, I think, this is the start of that battle. You've got, Almeida, who was really upset at the last stage finish because he felt that one of the other Sky guys there, Sivakov, had put his brakes on and caused a gap, and he almost lost 2 seconds. He's only 30 seconds down. He's in third place, but he's under pressure. Carapaz, hit them 30 k's to go on the very tough Torino stage, but didn't look that good. He came back. They caught him without any problems. It's going to be interesting. Jai, you're right. Jai Hindley, he can win this bike race. And tomorrow is going to be the start, or today for you guys, is going to be the start of it. I think a break will go, but I think the GC Sky won't, or Ineos won't let it go too far, and I think the GC boys will come into play. There's the overall popping up. So
it's the top 10.
7 seconds to Hindley, 30 seconds to Almeida.
Mate, the Shark's not out of it. The Shark's not out of it. He's 3 minutes off.
Well, he's not. He's 8 to
2016.
I don't believe he can win this bike race, but he looked good. On the toughest stage so far actually has been the Torino stage, as far as the way it was raced. And what changed the whole ball game was the Bora Hansgrohe. I mean, they came out and took the race by the short and curlies and did what we expected Ineos to do, and put Ineos under pressure. Carapaz was completely alone. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this next week. There's only one flat day. And the rest of them are serious days, the final time trial, of course. But, we've got, 6 monster stages coming up. So the penultimate day is probably the toughest of the lot. So
well, one rider that we talked about at the start of the Giro, but we haven't really mentioned much since, is Mikel Landa. I think it was the Tour de France last year that he was confident he was going to win it until he crashed out. And when he's on, he's on. And I think we got some insights from Neil Stevens around the time. And, it might have been the Vuelta, actually. I can't remember. But he's a threat, and he's only just under a minute off the pace.
Yeah, that's right. He's there's probably 4 or 5 who are really in the mix. But I still reckon Jai is the man. Bilbao is only minute 52. He had also a little bit of an issue as well. So the fact that Landa and Bilbao, both Bahrain, are together, but Bookman's is only a minute, a couple of seconds back further. He's in 7th, so Bora got 2 up there in the top 10. You wouldn't believe it. I've just got a cramp.
You got a cramp? All right. Well, that's a good sign to wrap things up, folks. YouTube.com/The Detour Podcast. We've got to get Iffy down. It's an emergency. Thanks again to all the guests. We'll be back again tomorrow at 7 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for the Giro. Rest up, Iffy. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Cheers.